Hello, my name is Arjuna Nambi, and I'm a project manager here at Iterate.ai. Today, I'm here to show you our Generate AI PC platform, and more specifically, document search. Now, to get started with document search, first you have to log into the platform, and then after you're greeted by the dashboard, here on the left-hand side, you click document search. So, first, to get started with document search, you would have to add your documents. There are multiple ways to do this. Some of the ways include here, clicking this button called Pick Documents found under your AI helper. Another way is to click here, the little paperclip icon found beside where you input your questions, or to go into the settings. Regardless, they all bring you to the same place, which is the File Input menu. Here you have some options. Well, first of all, to input documents locally, you could click one of these two buttons. So you have a choice of clicking pick folder, which would input a full repository from your local computer, or you can pick specific documents. This isn't the only way you're able to input documents. You're also able to go into integrations and add whatever account you see fit for your integrations. To do that, all you have to do is click on the respective icon. It would bring you to the sign on option, and here we already have a Gmail account linked. So we're just going to click that account. It'll ask for your password. It will also ask you for permissions, and then it'll bring you to this menu right here where you're able to pick the file from the integration. So here we pick Google Drive, so now we're able to access our Google Drive files. And you're able to click on whatever one you see fit and then click select. So now, to view the documents that you've inputted, you go to Manage Documents here. Here, as you can tell, we have some documents. And not only the name of the documents, we also could see the status, integration, and whether we want to delete them or not. So as you can see, after inputting the documents, it's been organized by the LLM. And as you can tell, the status is completed. You also see what integration it is by the icons. So the very far bottom will be the most different one, that being from Google Drive, and everything else will be from the local. Now, how do we use document search? I inputted my files, now what? So first of all, you can ask any of your queries down here in this text bar here. You can also view your documents here in this menu. First, you gotta click expand, and here you're able to see all your documents by source. So currently, we have the local source. So instead, let's switch to Google Drive. So now after switching to Google Drive, we can now see our Google Drive documents. So likewise, we'll bring it back to local. So first, before you put any query in or ask anything from the LLM, you gotta make sure the LLM is turned on, found here on the top right. You also get to pick which LLMs you get to use. Here, we're gonna be using RAG Pro. So to get started, there's a bunch of ways you can use document search. The first way I'm gonna show you is by clicking a document and clicking summarize. So here I'm going to summarize this document. So while it does that, currently it's going to be tossing this document, pulling it from our LLM. And this is all done privately, as this is all done offline within your device. So here it's able to give you a small sample of what the document is about, and you actually have some options down here, which means you're able to stop the prompt whenever you want. So okay, all I really cared about is performance for this document. I could click stop, and it will stop immediately. Now, as you could tell, we have a few options here. You could choose whether the response was good or bad, copy the response and paste it somewhere else, and you're actually able to see benchmarks as well. You're even able to play this.
The document describes the specifications and features.
It'll give you a voice back of the whole entire message. Now, since we know what specific document pulled from, the source option isn't very useful here. But say if you made a general inquiry, like we have a lot of Intel documents, so I'm gonna say what Intel Xeon CPU should I be using in my AI server. So here we're going to make a response. We're going to make a little query and it's going to give us a response fairly quickly. And here, as you can tell, I'm asking about Intel CPUs for our AI server. So immediately it's giving me a response saying, number one, you got to think about the cores and threads. You got to think about clock speed and all of that. So while we let this run, you can have the option of canceling it, but we'll let this run to just see what it generates. Now, say for example, you didn't want to ask like a general query like this. You want to ask specifically for a file, one file in particular. So here, for example, perfect, it's done and you're able to see different things for each. So first, now you can do general queries and you can also do specific queries. So for specific queries, say for example, dog expenses, I'm going to ask a question specifically for that file. So I click it here. So then I'll be like, what was the total sum of my expenses, for example? Boom. Here it's able to pull the data and it says the total sum of your expenses for the first year is $3,000. And it actually breaks down the cost as well. As simple as that. Now, not only are you able to ask questions to the document, if you also want to be, well, less private and just start using web search, you can click web search right here. Make sure your computer is connected through Wi-Fi or Ethernet for this to work. Now I can ask a simple question like, what is the weather in Toronto right now? So now it's, as you can tell, it's browsing from the internet, trying to pull from the right data, and it's able to return the exact temperature. Nice. Now, say for example, if you want to reset, you could click new chat here on the top left. Say for example, I want to see those old queries I put in there. So let's go back in here and say, here, let me see what the total sum was again. Here, it goes right back to that full history and gets you all that information in case you needed it. Now, not only that, you could also add personas. I call it personas. These are instructions for the specific LLM. So here, for example, I could be like, give me all responses back in the tone of Bob Ross. Yeah, give me all the responses back in the tone of Bob Ross. So I'll click save that. So now, for example, if I click summarize here, I can turn off web search. I don't need that. So here it's slowly generate. It's probably going to be pulling from the instructions here as well. It seems like I have to ask a question. So let's say, what is Intel? Let's do that. What is Intel? And here it will use that persona or the instruction to give all my answers into that tone. So here with instructions, you're able to change things like tone, the way it should be looking. So for example, you're having invoice documents, you're able to say, hey, your financial analysis, give me a breakdown of give me the breakdown of this financial document, for example, and it will use those instructions for each response. For summary, it's a little different as it's asking it a little more specifically, but for any general queries or specific questions, it will ask it. One more thing to add is that we also have our workflow cards. So to access our workflow cards, you have to return to the new chat, and here you could find them right under where you could go to pick documents, tutorial documentation, but right above the prompt query. Now here we have multiple workflow cards available. Things like legal document analysis, improving your resume, finding YouTube videos, improving your household costs, generating a study guide, and even planning events and other different workflow cards that we thought would be useful. Say, for example, compare two documents. So first, it's going to ask me what integration, so it can isolate what documents I would want. So I'm going to say local. So next, it's going to ask me to pick a file. So I'm going to pick this Intel file. And then it's going to ask me to pick the second file. So I'm going to go local. And then pick the other Intel file. So after that, now it's going to be generating the response with the LLM. But you could tell that these workflow cards will make these simple actions very, very easy to do on the tool itself. So not only can we use, can we compare our documents, but we also access our files, generate responses. Another one we have is actually using the web search function as well. Like here, finding YouTube videos. So here now it's created a response. So now it's going to say the different similarities, scalability, both processors, support up to 2 sockets. But as you can tell, these workflow cards could be very useful and even provide some added functionality to the tool as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you need any more information about Iterate and Generate, you can find us at iterate.ai. Thank you.